It's time. Redeeming 6 is the 4th book in the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh that I am currently reading. And this is a hunk-a-lunk of a book. The one before this was so much shorter. I was able to read it in like 2 days, but this one's gonna take a little bit, and especially because these are very tiny little thin pages. And I know that this is going to break my heart. This book is going to hurt so hard. And I'm so ready for it. So quick warning that there will be spoilers for the first 3 books in the Boys of Tommen series, but there will not be any spoilers for this book, Redeeming 6. So that means that there will be spoilers about the events from Binding 13, Keeping 13, and Saving 6. So you have been warned. Oh boy, the expectations I have for this book, very, 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 very high. Very high. Especially considering that the second book of the Boys of Tommen, Keeping 13, was my favorite in the series so far. And it's like the first book is a lot of build-up, and then you really just like get your heart and soul destroyed in the second one. And because this is the second book for Joey's story, I really do think that it's going to rip my heart into 700 million thousand pieces. It is going to take all the king's horses and all the king's men to put me back together again. That's what's going to happen. And I am so ready for it. So yeah! So from my understanding, this book is going to continue probably immediately after the events of Saving 6. Now, apparently I've been pronouncing one of the characters' names incorrectly, despite there being a pronunciation guide. I was calling her Aoife, but it's actually Aoife, if I'm doing that correctly. So I will be making sure I'm saying that moving forward. So this is Joey and Aoife's story, part 2, and it is going to continue because they had basically broken up at the end of the last book, but like a temporary breakup, not a long-term breakup. So we will continue to follow their love story and see where it goes, because we know that they have to get back together at some point, because in Shannon and Johnny's story, Aoife is there to basically restock all of the groceries when their mom just like kind of zoned out and isn't able to physically move or do or help anybody or anything, even herself. And so Aoife's been really good about helping the family. So at some point they do have to get back together, but maybe they'll break up again. And then like, this is definitely going to have Joey in rehab, which I'm just thinking about that. I know, I'm just thinking about that. So the Joey in rehab, after he sees Shannon literally get beat almost to death, I imagine is gonna have to happen in this book, because this is the last book, and that did not happen in the previous book, which honestly I thought it would, that's where I thought that would end. But no, this one I imagine is going to cover that event, and it's also going to cover the loss of the baby and Johnny and Shannon getting together and like the parents dying, like all of this stuff. So I am ready for the emotional damage, and I'm really hoping that Aoife and Joey do get their happily ever after. So without further ado, let's crack this book right open. So I'm definitely more than 100 pages into Redeeming 6, and here are my thoughts so far. I didn't think that I could somehow manage to hate Teddy Lynch even more than I already did, but every single one of these books just makes me hate him more and more and more and more. I cannot stand him. He is horrible. I hate him so much. And Joey, oh Joey, this poor boy, he's working so hard and he's trying his best, and Aoife's there for him, but then there's like, they're fighting and then they're not, and it's like she just loves him so much and he just loves her so much, and I'm just like I love it. And it's also really cool because now that we're in this kind of timeline, we're able to see stuff that happened in Binding 13, but from Joey's perspective. So we get to see kind of like when he drops Shannon off at Johnny's place, and then like the events that happen, then he goes to pick her up, and we get to see a bunch of all this stuff and like how he kind of thinks, what he thinks about Johnny, what he thinks about Gibbsy, and other kind of smaller things that tend to happen. There was a party that he went to where some interesting little bits of information, some potential drama for the later books had been discovered in there. And yeah, it's just really fun to follow along their relationship. And just like, it's just like so, these characters are so good. They're so real. They're so well-rounded. They're so tragic. They're so complex. They have so many layers. And you're just watching these two people who just love each other so much. And one of them is just like falling apart and the other one's trying to save him. And just, I love them. I love them. Being able to see more of Aoife is also really, really fun because I really like to kind of see the difference between her family life versus like Joey and the rest of the Lynch family's family life, and how Joey will go to her house or she'll go to his house, and just like the stuff that happens is just super, super good. And it's very, very similar to the vibes that I was getting when I was reading Keeping 13, where you fall for these characters so hard and you love them and you just want to follow them to the ends of the earth. It doesn't even matter what these characters do. It's just interesting because these characters that you really, really like. It's definitely a very character-driven story, character-driven series. And so I really love just seeing what's happening, the different kind of situations they're in, and being able to kind of see what was happening in Joey's head and Joey's life, comparing it to what was happening with Shannon, because we already saw like Shannon and Johnny's story unfold, and now we're seeing it from the eyes of somebody else, which I think is really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at in Redeeming 13. I'm having a really good time, obviously, and I do not want to put this book down. I'm thinking about it all the time, and the chokehold that this series has on me is honestly ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to continue to read Redeeming 6, and I'll update you around the halfway mark, so I will see you then. Wish me luck. I know it's just gonna go like tragedy upon tragedy the deeper we get into this book. So I'm now definitely more than halfway through Redeeming 6, and I have officially caught up to the timeline where Keeping 13 had kind of left off, where Joey's about to go to rehab. Having to read the stuff that Joey has gone through, and then like, I didn't realize how important Lizzie would be to the story, to be honest. Joey, poor Joey. I want to give him a hug so badly, and being in his head and the way that his addiction has spiraled, because like in Saving 6, it just started off as like a few different kinds of like lower types of drugs that he would take, or all of that, and then you see it spiral and spiral and spiral until it's just like he can't control it anymore, and it has become everything to him. And the only other thing in his life that matters is like obviously his siblings and Aoife. And it's, oh my goodness, my heart is in pieces, hundreds and thousands of different pieces. And now that I'm about to read his experience in rehab, I'm just like, oh, my heart. And like, what is Aoife's like story going to be like while she's just like unaware of how he is doing in the program and stuff? I just, oh, my soul and my heart, it's so sad. It's so sad. And then like that little extra detail that we learned about where the bodies were positioned in the aftermath of the fire made me even madder. How can I hate this character still even more than I did like 100 pages ago? I hate this guy so much. He is honestly one of my least favorites. Like out of every book that I've read, he's the worst. He's awful. I hate him. He's definitely in like the top 3 of awful, despicable characters. And then, yeah, I'm still so conflicted about Marie, because yes, she did get a good bit of redemption by letting Johnny take the kids out of the house, but does that final act forgive the other neglectful things that she did? And I don't think so. Because we really see, we really see, especially in this book, how unloved and unappreciated Joey is by his mother. And he tries so hard to protect her, and he just wants her to love him. She'll love all of the other kids. She'll love Teddy, but she can't love Joey. And it breaks my heart. And I think that if I hadn't read this book, I may have found it in my heart to forgive Marie, because obviously, Darren, he's like the Dane of the series, is right in saying that, yeah, Marie is a victim. 14 years old. She's mentally 14 years old. And she's been through so much. But I don't think that that excuses the neglect that she put through all of her kids and the way that she treated Joey. Because when you look at Joey, when you look at Shannon, when you look at all of the kids, they have been through the worst possible things, and they can still find it in their hearts to be kind to people, to love people, to take care of people, to not hurt people despite all of the hurt that they have been through. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm just very passionate about this, and I do of course feel conflicted because, like I mentioned, Marie is a victim, and she did do a final act of goodness by literally saving all the children. But if Joey was in that house, would she have waited for Johnny to get him out? Probably not. And I think that's the answer to, does she deserve the redemption? So yeah, I'm going to continue to read Redeeming 6, and we will see Joey and Aoife's conclusion to their story. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. This book is really hitting me in the feels. I'm just like, whew, But yeah, so wish me luck. My heart's already broken. Okay, I'm ready for this. I can do this. They get their happy end, and I hope. If Joey just dies, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad, guys. I'm gonna be so mad. Okay. Get the happy ending, get the happy ending, get the happy ending. Okay. I'm going to continue to read this book. Please wish me luck. I'm probably gonna cry. We will see. I will see you when I finish this book. I just finished Redeeming 6, and this is yet another great addition to the Boys of Tommen series. I really liked this book. I honestly was so stressed towards the end of this book. I was like, what's gonna happen with Aoife? I swear to you, if something happens to Aoife, I am going to throw this book across the room. I was so anxious the entire time, and just rooting for Joey. And honestly, I really liked it. I think that what's interesting about this book is that you get to see kind of what Joey and Aoife were up to while Shannon and Johnny's story is playing out at the same time. So I think at times there's parts where I know what's going to happen because I had read, obviously, Shannon and Johnny's story first. But then once you catch up to how the events of that one kind of ended, everything was all new, and it's okay, what is going to happen? Should I be worried? Is this gonna be good? Is this gonna be heartbreaking? Yes, and yes. I absolutely loved reading Joey's experience in rehab. That was really well done. So good. And you're just always rooting for him, but then you're also experiencing the anxiety that Aoife's going through, and people are judging her for so many different things, but especially because they're oh, your boyfriend's an addict. what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Like, why would you be with someone like that? And like, you know how much she loves him and he loves her, and it's like he tries to push her away in all of the books that are about them. And like, she can see that there's someone worth saving underneath the surface. And oh yeah, I think that it was really wrapped up very, very nicely, the way that the character stories finished and all those kind of like loose ends. And we even get kind of a bit more of like Shannon's perspective that I was like pleasantly surprised about for the epilogue. And I was like, oh yes. And it's really cool too, because you can hear the different voices. When it's Shannon, the tone is so much more softer and delicate and kind. With Joey, it's more like macabre and somber. And then for Aoife, it's like a mix of like fire and feisty and passion. And I just love that like, you know, even if they didn't have the names on each of the chapters, you would know which character we are following along. And this just goes to show like how great of a writer Chloe Walsh is. Like, she takes her time building these characters up. She takes her time developing them and presenting them to you in a beautiful way that you follow them along. And when you think their story's done, it just continues to go, and it's like real life, and I love it. This book definitely had its moments where I was like, oh my goodness, this is so tragic and heartbreaking, and I was like shaken, and I was like, I did not cry, by the way. I remember saying that I think I might cry reading this book, but I didn't. But it definitely hits you in the feels still, and I'm really excited to read Gibbsy's story and Lizzie's story, because this book is giving you a little bit bits and pieces about Lizzie and why she gets her own book. So that's going to be really cool as well. So yeah, today we are going to be awarding Redeeming 6 a total of 4.5 stars. Definitely a really good book. I had just like such a fabulous time with it. I think the reason I did not end up giving this book 5 stars is because I kind of already knew some of the events that would happen because of Binding 13 and Keeping 13. Some of those events didn't hit the exact same way. Like, obviously they still hit hard, but you don't get that same level of surprise. Like when Joey finds out that his dad burned everybody alive. Like, obviously that sucks. And it hit so hard when I was reading Keeping 13, but it's not the same because I knew it was going to happen, if that makes sense. Doesn't make it any less like, oh my goodness, you know? But when you don't know what's going to happen, it kind of gets that like, oh, what is this going to be? And so when there are moments like that in this book, absolutely top tier. I love it. You can tell that there was so much thought put into this book, and it's so well written, and I'm so into this series. It's so good. I love these characters. I love Joey. I love Shannon. I love Johnny. I love Aoife. I love everything, and what a good book. What a good book. So the next book that I'm going to be reading, of course, we already know, is Taming 7, which is the 5th book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is Gibbsy's story, and it is very short, and I'm honestly kind of sad about that, because I'm like, why does he get a short book and everybody else gets a longer book? Like, give me more Gibbsy. He's such a great comic relief character, and there's just like so many more layers. Obviously, he's using humor to deflect, and we know at the end of Keeping 13 that there was this incident with his family drowning, and so like I'm interested to see like what his story is, like what happened to him and his family, and like what did that look like. And like he and Claire, they're like the ultimate, like they'll be the ultimate childhood friends to lovers. They have to get together. There's no way they don't get together. Like, come on guys, they need to get together. So yeah, I'm excited. This is what I'm going to be reading next, and it's going to be such a good time. So if you're interested in watching me read Taming 7 or any other book that happens to be on my never-ending TBR, definitely hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any video. Also turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. So you can follow me along, cry with me, laugh with me, probably cry because I'm in my Boys of Tommen era right now. And if you love Joey Lynch, definitely hit the like button and let me know, who is your favorite couple? Are you Johnny and Shannon? Or are you Joey and Aoife? I know it's hard to pick, but if you had to pick, which one did you like the most in terms of their story? Let me know in the comments. And with that, I'm going to wish you warm wishes and fish kisses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!